In this video, hello everyone and welcome to the second video of this channel. Now if you haven't watched the last video, make sure you go watch the last video, as it's the first video in the series and a must to watch. At the end of the last video, I also gave you two examples to solve. These are the answers that are shown on the board. I highlighted them right now, and it's z is equal to 12w and y is equal to the cube root of 25. Now, if you have any questions, of course, you can always ask them in the comments. And let's get on to the new lesson. This is about absolute value equations. Now, notice I didn't say expressions, I said equations. Now, these are things where we have this absolute value sign. Now, let me just show you. Alright? Now, this is not really how it's supposed to look, because like normally you have terms in it like this, but these are the absolute value bars, as us mathematicians like to call it. So that's pretty basic, and then besides that, they're just a regular equation. Now that you understand that part, let's get on to some examples about these equations. These are 3 examples I've shown, and I'll say each of them out loud. Now, x plus 3, the absolute value of x plus 3 is equal to 9. The absolute value of y minus 9 is equal to 4. And the absolute value of x squared is equal to 64. These are like the examples that I showed you, but for problems that I'm going to solve, just to show you a better example, maybe it's better I just pull up some new ones. Example, we will be solving the absolute value of x plus 7 is equal to 9. Make sure that this is the center of your attention. Good. Now, when we're solving absolute value equations, we have to split it up into 2 parts. Our first part is x plus 7 is equal to 9. This is where we just remove the absolute values and keep everything else the same. X plus 7 is equal to 9. That's good. Now, for our second part, it's really simple. You keep everything the same as the first equation, except you change 9 to negative 9. I hope you understand that. Now, as I'm going to use this arrow logo. Well, not really a logo, but like, look. But I'll just show you. This is kind of like an arrow. So we're just going to use this. Let's move this right over here. Maybe make it a little smaller. And that's it. For our net end, let's just put this one above and this one below. One very simple method, like if you're just trying to if you're trying to solve a problem on a computer, just try and line everything up, make everything around the same size. Trust me, it's going to save you a lot of time, and you're going to be grateful that I gave you this tip. Now, I have the arrow in the middle. That shows it branches out to 2 different solutions, or equations. They're not really solutions yet. So why don't I copy paste 2 more arrows to make sure that we have enough to finish it. Because this is just a simple linear equation, super simple to solve. So all we just have to do is we just lay down these arrows right over here and write out the solutions. For our first equation, it's going to be x is equal to 2. And for our second equation, we're going to get x is equal to negative 16. I know it seems crazy, but it's really simple. You just have to subtract 7 from both sides, and you get this answer. So, here's the full thing. We have our starting equation, our 2 branches of our solution, and now we have our 2 real solutions. X is equal to 2, and x is equal to negative 16. Our 2 branched out solutions, as I like to call it. X minus 8 is equal to 9. X minus 8 is equal to negative 9. These are our 2 branches of our solution, and it's pretty simple to solve for here. So I'm just gonna type out the solutions, so I don't waste any of your valuable time. And that's it. Those are our 2 solutions. This is kind of like a full view for anyone who just wants to see the visual steps and are better at just reading equations, which I highly doubt it, but some people are like that, so I'll just give you a few seconds to read. X squared is equal to 81. Now, this is kind of special, but there's this law surrounding squares that no value squared can be negative. Now, absolute value I forgot to explain this, but the way absolute value function works, like if I have the absolute value of a positive number, I'm just going to represent this by a plus. It will be that same positive number, okay? But if I have the absolute value of a negative number, it will be the same number except it turns into positive. So if I have x squared, which can never be negative, my value will always be positive. It's pretty simple. Now, of course, if you have any questions, you can say it down in the comments because I know sometimes it can be confusing to newcomers, even with my tutorials. So just know that I'm there, all right? So we can turn this, instead of absolute value of x squared into 81, into just x squared is equal to 81. It's pretty convenient, right? All right? Very simple. Very, very simple process. Now, this is also a one-step equation, which you probably should know how to solve from my last video. So I'm just going to skip that, skip all the explanations, and just type out my solution. And boom, very simple process. And remember to always include the plus minus because it's technically correct. Now, technically, I mean like mathematically, that's how you're supposed to write it. So, that's basically it. I solved the 3 examples, and I think you're good to solve the rest of the problems on your own. And don't worry, it's not really that hard. Because, I mean, all you're doing is just solving some equations, and I'm sure you'll be fine. I believe in you. And thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. And if you really like these videos, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow the channel for more awesome content like this. Thank you. Bye-bye.